My name is Everett, and I am 58 years old. I am sitting in my garage, surrounded by the quiet smell of sawdust and old metal, looking at a worn photograph of my daughter. Just a few months ago, she told me, her voice thick with disappointment, that her dream trip to Hawaii was canceled. She said they were struggling, that money was too tight. I believed her. My heart ached for her, and I wanted to help. I had no idea that the truth was hiding in plain sight, just a tap away on a glowing screen. Before I share the photo that shattered my trust, I am genuinely curious about where you are listening from today. If you have ever felt a pang of worry for someone you love, please let me know in the comments below. And if you are ready to hear a story about the difficult line between helping and enabling, between love and honesty, I invite you to hit that like button and subscribe. This journey from belief to heartbreak is one I think many of us need to hear. The foundation of my world was built on two things: honest work and my daughter Chloe. After my wife passed, those two things held me up. I am a plumber. Have been for over 35 years. I built a small, reliable business from my truck. It is not glamorous, but it paid the mortgage on this old house, put food on the table, and most importantly, it put Chloe through college. I remember saving for months, skipping little things to buy her that first powerful laptop for her design work. Seeing her face light up was worth every missed dinner out. She is 28 now, married to a man named Liam for 3 years. I always wanted her to stand on her own 2 feet, to be independent. So when she called me that afternoon, I was proud of her, even through my concern. "Dad," she said. And I could hear the strain. "I have some bad news. Our trip to Maui, for our anniversary, we have to cancel it." "Oh, honey," I said, my hand tightening on the phone. "What happened?" "It is just everything." She sighed, a sound that carried the weight of bills and anxiety. "Liam's commission structure changed. My freelance projects are slow this quarter. The credit card debt is just piling up. We looked at the numbers, and a vacation is just irresponsible right now." I felt that familiar pull in my chest, the instinct to fix it. "Listen, let me help. I can cover the flights, or just send you something to take the edge off." "No, Dad, absolutely not." Her refusal was swift, firm. "You have done enough for me my whole life. I am not going to be a burden to you now. We are adults. We will figure this out. It is just disappointing, you know." Her words meant to show maturity wrapped around my heart. I was so proud of her resilience. "I understand, sweetheart. I am really sorry. But I am also proud of you for being so responsible." We talked a little more about nothing important and hung up. That night, sitting alone at my kitchen table, the silence felt heavier than usual. I could not shake the image of her disappointed face. So I did something quietly. I logged into my bank account and transferred $2,000 into her checking account. I left the memo line blank for a moment, then typed, "for a rainy day." I did not tell her. It was not about thanks. It was about a father's need to know his child has a small cushion, a tiny life raft, even if she insists she does not need one. That was the world we lived in then, a world of quiet support and believed-in strength. I had no reason to think it was anything else. Life settled back into its normal rhythm for a few weeks. Work was busy. I had a leaking water heater to replace for an elderly couple, a whole bathroom repipe for a young family. My friend Ben, who I have known since high school, and who is now a lawyer, came over one Tuesday evening. We were in the living room, him talking about a tricky case, me half listening while scrolling through the news on my phone. "Everett," Ben said, his voice cutting through my thoughts. He was looking at his own phone, his brow slightly furrowed. "Chloe and Liam take a trip with his folks." The question landed oddly. "No," I said a little too quickly. "They canceled their trip. Money is tight." Ben hesitated, then turned his screen toward me. "This looks pretty recent." It was a social media post. The photo was bright, saturated with tropical colors. There was Chloe, my daughter, wearing a big straw hat and a smile I had not seen in months. Next to her was Liam, arm around her, and flanking them were Marjorie and Richard. Liam's parents, beaming. They were all on a stunning beach, palm trees, leaning in the background, the ocean, a brilliant turquoise. The resort behind them looked expensive. The caption from Marjorie read, "Making magical memories with our wonderful kids." Family time. Maui magic. So blessed. The air left my lungs. For a second, my brain scrambled for an explanation. An old photo, maybe they went somewhere local that just looked like Hawaii. But the hashtag said Maui. I took Ben's phone, my fingers feeling numb. I clicked on Marjorie's profile. The posts were all from the last week. A luau, a sunset cruise. Chloe laughing over a plate of fancy food at a restaurant with a name I could not pronounce. Maybe it is a surprise. Ben offered, his voice careful, reading the shock on my face. I handed the phone back, not saying anything. A cold, heavy confusion was settling in my gut. Why would she lie? Was she embarrassed? They went without me, that would sting, but it was not unthinkable. But then I remembered the specific words from our call. We have to cancel it. A vacation is irresponsible right now. The $2,000 I had sent for her, rainy day. I need to think about this, I said to Ben, my voice rough. After he left, the house felt enormous and empty. I sat in the dark, the glow of my own phone illuminating my face as I stared at that photo now on my screen. The confusion began to curdle into something else, a sharp, quiet pain. This was not an old picture. This was not a cheap alternative. This was Hawaii. And my daughter had looked me in the eye, metaphorically speaking, and told me a story that was not true. The first crack had appeared in the foundation of our world, and I could feel the chill draft coming through. The following days were a slow, grinding exercise in observation. The initial shock hardened into a dull, persistent ache. I decided I would not confront her yet. A part of me hoped there was an explanation, some piece of information that would make it all make sense. So I watched. I listened. I called Chloe a few days later, forcing my voice into its normal, easy cadence. We made small talk. Then I gently steered the conversation. "So, how are things really going? Any relief on the financial front?" Her sigh was a masterpiece of performed weariness. "Not really, Dad. It is a constant stress. Liam is interviewing, but nothing solid yet. We are just cutting every corner we can, eating a lot of pasta." She gave a little laugh, but it sounded hollow to my now suspicious ears. The lie was so smooth. It felt practiced. That hurt more than the initial discovery. This was not a one-time omission. This was an ongoing performance. The next piece came at a small family barbecue for my nephew's birthday. I was grilling burgers, trying to act normal, when I overheard Liam talking to one of my brother-in-laws. "Oh yeah, the trip was incredible," Liam was saying, a beer in his hand. "Marjorie and Richard really went all out. 5-star the whole way. We were so grateful they insisted." I kept flipping burgers, my back to them, feeling the heat from the grill on my face. So it was a gift. A lavish 5-star gift. Chloe had not just gone on a trip. She had gone on a fully funded, luxurious vacation while telling me she was too broke to go. A week after that, I mustered the nerve to call Marjorie. Her birthday was coming up. It was a plausible reason to call. After the pleasantries, I said, "I heard you all took a wonderful trip recently." "Oh, Everett," she bubbled, delighted. "It was heaven." We just decided to swoop in and treat the kids. Chloe had mentioned they were going to cancel their plans because of money, and we just said, "Nonsense, we are all going." It was so special to have that time together. There it was. The confirmation delivered with cheerful, unthinking clarity. They had not just gone on a trip. They had gone on the trip. The one she told me was canceled. The lie was complete, and it was deliberate. I thanked Marjorie and hung up my hand, trembling. The pain was different now. It was no longer just hurt feelings. It was a deep sense of betrayal. The $2,000 I had quietly sent money, saved from fixing clogged drains and leaking pipes. Where had that gone? Not toward her rainy day, not toward responsible bills. It felt like it had been tossed into the ocean along with my trust. The walls of the world I thought we shared were not just cracked. They were crumbling, and I was standing in the rubble alone. For a month, a heavy silence hung between Chloe and me. I answered her calls, but our conversations were short, polite, and empty. I was grappling with my anger, my disappointment, trying to decide what to do. A part of me wanted to shout, to demand an explanation. But another part, the older, wearier part, just watched and waited. I focused on my work, on the solid, unambiguous logic of pipes and wrenches. Things either fit or they did not. They held pressure or they leaked. There was no ambiguity. Then, on a rainy Thursday evening, my phone rang. It was Chloe. Her voice was different this time, not the performative stress from before, but a raw, panicked tremor I had never heard. Dad, I need to talk to you." She was crying. "Chloe, what's wrong? Are you hurt?" "It is not that. It is everything. Liam, he made a terrible investment. He did not tell me. He used some of our savings, and he borrowed more. It all fell apart. We are in deep trouble, Dad. The bank is going to foreclose on the house. The debts, they are calling. I do not know what to do." My heart, despite everything, clenched with fear for her. This sounded real. "Okay, calm down. Just breathe. How bad is it?" The silence on the other end was heavy. Then she whispered the number. $100,000, Dad. We need $100,000 to stop it all, to get our heads above water. The number echoed in the quiet of my living room. $100,000. It was an astronomical sum. It was more than I made in a year. It was the equity in my home, the home I shared with her mother, the home I had planned to leave to her one day. "Liam is devastated. He is so sorry. We have nowhere else to turn." Her sobs were ragged. "Please, Dad, can you help us? Could you take a loan against the house? We will pay you back. I promise. This is the last time, I swear. Please." In that moment, all the suppressed fury, the betrayed trust, the image of her smiling on that Maui beach, coalesced into a cold, clear certainty. This was not a crisis born of bad luck. It was the culmination of a pattern. Secrecy lies living beyond their means, and now a direct appeal to my life's work, my security, to clean it up. The pain was immense, but it was suddenly eclipsed by a profound resolve. I took a slow, deep breath. My voice, when I finally spoke, was calm, steady. "All right, Chloe, listen to me. Come here. Come to the house. Bring Liam. We will talk about this in person." After I hung up, I did not panic. I moved with a methodical focus I usually reserved for complex jobs. First, I called Ben. "Ben, I need your help. It is about Chloe." I laid it out for him quickly. The Hawaii lie, the new demand for money. I am not giving her a cent, but I'm not going to just say no. I need to make a point she will never forget. Ben, ever the pragmatist, understood immediately. "What do you need?" "Information. Legitimate, practical information. Debt consolidation. Counselors, non-profit. Credit advisors. Job listings for manual labor that are hiring immediately. And I need you to draft a simple one-page letter. Something about financial responsibility and boundaries. Nothing legal, just clear. I can do that. I will messenger it over in 2 hours." Next, I went to my small home office, a closet-sized room filled with filing cabinets and the smell of old paper. I logged into my bank account and printed the transfer receipt for the $2,000 I had sent months prior. Then I went to the printer and printed the clearest color copy I could of that Hawaii photo, the one with the big smiles and the #MauiMagic tag. The contrast between the evidence of her lie and the record of my secret support was stark on the paper. I pulled out a single clean sheet of stationery, the kind I had not used in years. I thought for a long time, then wrote in my careful blocky handwriting, "My love for you is unconditional, but my trust and my financial support are not. Start from here. Start with honesty. Dad." I assembled it all: the photo, the bank receipt, the list of resources Ben emailed over his formally worded letter about personal accountability, and my own short note. I placed them inside a thick, plain manila envelope. It felt heavy, not with money, but with consequence. When the doorbell rang, my heart was pounding, but my hands were steady. Chloe and Liam stood on the porch looking pale and exhausted. Chloe's eyes were swollen. They came in and sat on the edge of the sofa like visitors, not family. I did not offer them tea. I sat in my worn armchair across from them, the manila envelope on the coffee table between us. "Before you say anything more," I began, my voice low, but filling the quiet room, "I need you to understand what I know." I told them. I told them about seeing the photo, about my conversation with Marjorie, about the $2,000 I had sent during their supposed financial crisis. I did not yell. I just stated the facts one after the other, like laying out tools for a job. I watched the color drain from Chloe's face, saw Liam stare at the floor. "The trip was a gift," Chloe finally whispered, her voice breaking. "We did not want you to feel left out." "Stop." I said the word firm, but not loud. "Do not add another lie to the pile. You told me it was canceled because it was irresponsible. You let me believe you were struggling while you were sipping cocktails on a beach. You took my money under false pretenses. And now, a month later, you ask me for $100,000. I shook my head slowly. "That is not how this works." I picked up the manila envelope. I held it out to her. She looked at it, confused, hesitant. "This," I said, "is what I am prepared to give you." Her fingers trembled as she took it. She opened the clasp and pulled out the contents. Her eyes scanned the Hawaii photo first, and a choked sound escaped her. Then she saw the bank receipt. Then Ben's letter, the list of resources. Finally, she unfolded my handwritten note. She read it, her shoulders beginning to shake with silent sobs. I leaned forward, my elbows on my knees, looking directly at my only child. My voice was thick with emotion, but every word was deliberate. $100,000, I am handing you something far more valuable. I am handing you the truth, and I am handing you a chance to save yourselves. The hard way, the honest way. I hope it is worth more than money." They left shortly after, clutching the envelope, wordless. The silence they left behind was profound. I felt emptied out, a hollowed tree after a storm. The next few weeks were the hardest. The anger subsided, leaving a deep, weary sadness. I questioned myself constantly. Had I been too harsh? Was I failing her as a father by not bailing her out? But then I would remember the photo, the smooth lie, the sheer scale of the request, and a quiet conviction would settle back in my bones. This was not abandonment. It was the toughest form of love I had ever had to practice. I threw myself into work. I took on extra jobs. I finally started the long-postponed project of repainting my garage. I went fishing with Ben, not talking much, just enjoying the quiet and his solid, non-judgmental presence. Then, about a month later, a letter arrived in the mail, her handwriting on the envelope. My breath caught. I opened it carefully. It was long pages filled with her looping script. It was not an excuse. It was a confession. She wrote of her shame, of the pressure she felt to keep up with Liam's family's lifestyle, of the envy of the stupid, slippery slope of small lies that became a big one. She admitted she felt sick when she saw the bank receipt for my $2,000. She said she and Liam had seen the debt counselor, that Liam had gotten a job as a warehouse supervisor, that they had sold their new cars and were renting out a room in their house. They were on a brutal, strict budget. "We are paying our own way for the first time," she wrote. "It is terrifying and exhausting, and we have a long road ahead. I do not expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know I heard you. I am trying." I read it 3 times. Then I sat down at the kitchen table and wrote a short reply. "Chloe, I got your letter. Keep going on your path. I am here." I did not offer money. I did not offer a quick reconciliation. I offered a presence, a boundary that was also an open door. Healing is not a straight line. It is more like fixing an old, neglected house. You find rot where you did not expect it. Some foundations need shoring up. It takes time. Over the following year, I found my own peace in small, steady ways. I started volunteering at a local community center, teaching basic plumbing skills to kids in a job training program, showing a teenager how to solder a pipe. Seeing that flash of understanding in their eyes, it gave me a sense of purpose that flowed outward, not just inward toward my own family drama. My relationship with Chloe changed. It became slower, more deliberate. She and Liam would come for Sunday dinner, but they would bring the food, simple dishes they cooked themselves. We talked about work, about the weather, about memories of her mother. The topics of money, of vacations, of lifestyle were carefully avoided. It was not the easy friendship I might have hoped for, but it was real. It was built on the shaky, unpromising ground of truth after a landslide of lies. The lesson I learned was not about distrusting my child. It was about the true meaning of support. Unconditional love does not mean writing a blank check. It means having the courage to say this far and no further when someone you love is walking off a cliff. It means understanding that sometimes the most loving gift you can give is not a rescue, but a map and a compass, and the hard, lonely task of letting them find their own way back. A healthy boundary is not a wall to keep love out. It is a fence that protects your own soul, so you have something left to give when it is truly needed. I still look at that old photo of her sometimes, but it does not burn anymore. It reminds me of the cost of integrity and of the quiet strength it takes to say no when your every instinct is screaming to say yes. Now, I want to turn it over to you. What is the most difficult boundary you have ever had to set with someone you love? Was it with a child, a parent, a friend? How did you find the strength to do it? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the guidepost someone else needs to see. If this story resonated with you, if it touched on something real in your own life, please let me know by hitting the like button. It helps more people find these important conversations. And if you are not already part of this community, consider subscribing. We talk about real life here, the messy, beautiful, and painful parts of being human. Finally, if you know someone who is struggling with where to draw a line between helping and harming, please share this with them. It might be the nudge they need. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. However you are navigating your own relationships, I wish you clarity, courage, and a peace that comes from being true to yourself.